Hey, Richard Bryce here. In this video, I'm going to be talking about flexibility, and we're going to be focusing on hamstring flexibility. It isn't a nice thing to have to play tennis. It is a prerequisite in order to be able to hit certain shots properly. So especially the way that the modern game is evolving, a lot of times now people are hitting from an open stance. And in order to hit well from an open stance, you need to have flexible hips in general, but flexible hamstrings. In order to hit well off really wide balls and hit balls on the run, you need to have flexible hamstrings. Obviously you see at the top levels of the game, to get into some of the crazy positions that are hitting backhands from, you need flexible hamstrings. And also really to get down on those low volleys, you need flexible hamstrings. So this is something that's really important. But if you're anything like me, hamstring flexibility is hard to come by, or at least it used to be, because most people try and improve flexibility by stretching, and that is okay for some people, especially when they're a lot younger. But a lot of people, stretching doesn't work for, especially when they get older. And the key here is understanding that muscles aren't tight through deficiency in stretching. And I say this as someone who spent 3 years training to become a fascial stretch specialist. So I have spent a lot of money on my education to learn about stretching. And what I learned from it was that stretching kind of doesn't work that well. So what I'm going to be doing in this video is explaining kind of why that is, and really showing you what you need to do to improve your hamstring flexibility. So this is probably going to be very different to some of the stuff you've heard before, but this is awesome, because it means hopefully we're going to help to give you more flexible hamstrings, maybe for the first time. And really my goal is to try and get you touching your toes within this video. If that's something you haven't done in a while, that's the goal. So I hope you enjoy the video. If you do, it'd be great if you give me a thumbs up. If you haven't subscribed to my channel, it'd be wonderful if you could do that as well. Okay, so like I just said, muscles don't get held tight through deficiency in stretching. Your brain holds them tight as a protective mechanism. So if you want to increase your hamstring flexibility, you need to make your brain feel safe, and you need to make your brain not want to hold your hamstrings tight. That's what it's all about. So we're going to do this in a couple of ways. The end result is we're going to work on making things stronger. So we'll talk about that briefly, and then I'm going to show you how we're going to make them more flexible, and then we're going to go back to the making them stronger part. So in terms of making things stronger, we want to make them stronger in two ways. We want to make our hamstrings stronger in the stretch position. So if this is the position I can get my leg into, I want to strengthen my hamstrings in this range of motion. But I also want to make my quads and my hip flexors stronger as well. So I want to be able to hold my leg high under my own muscular strength. So now I'm strong here, and my brain feels safe that I can control these ranges. So you can just work on that part. You can just work on holding your leg up, and then maybe placing your leg on something like this and squeezing it down, but don't use the net, don't damage the net, but squeezing it down. So you can just work on that. But there's something else that we can do first, because often there might be other stuff that's causing your brain to hold these muscles tight. So we're going to try something to see if we can very quickly relax your hamstrings, and then we're going to go back to the strength bit and see if we can make it stick. Okay, so the way that we're going to do this, I want you to warm your hamstrings up first. So I just want you to go for a bunch of toe touches. I'm going to do this with you. I've been doing a lot of hiking recently. My legs are fairly sore, so we'll see where I am with all the work that I've been doing, and I'm going to kind of go through it with you so you can see it in real time. But you've got to warm your hamstrings up first, because what I want you to see is the impact of what we're going to do. And what I don't want you doing is we're going to do some specific drills. I don't want you to go, it's just because I kept on practicing and warm my hamstrings up. So just do about, oh gosh, that feels a bit uncomfortable. Just do about 5 or 6 reps or 10 reps or whatever, just leaning down and just getting them warm, and just make sure your hamstrings are warm so that we can get a nice fair test. So get a gauge for where you are. You know, are you down on your shins? Are you down near your shoes? Are you down on the floor? How is your range of motion at the moment? Because what we're going to try and do is we're going to try and make your brain feel safer and see if we can increase that range of motion. So one of the big reasons that people have tight hamstrings is because our balance system in our inner ear is responsible for controlling our spinal muscles, are our spinal extensor muscles, our hamstrings, our glutes, and our calves. So all these muscles are basically controlled by our balance system that lives in the inner ear. It's going to be a really important system for ball tracking and a lot of other things, but we'll get to that in a moment. But our balance system controls these muscles. So often when people's balance system doesn't work as well as it should do, the brain does not feel very happy letting you bend forwards and letting you have relaxed hamstrings because it just doesn't feel safe. So what we're going to do is a little bit of balance system activation. After you do it, you're then going to try your toe touch and see whether it improved or not. So we're going to do 4 different versions of this. The first one, you're going to hold your thumb out in front, you're going to look at your thumb, and you can turn your head to the left and then back to the middle, keeping your eyes on the thumb. And you're just going to do that 5 to 10 times. Maybe try 5 at first, and then when you've done it 5 times, making sure your eyes stay locked on that thumb, just retest your hamstrings. And what happens? Does it increase? Does it stay the same? Mine increased a little bit from that, so that's nice. What happens to you? So what you're looking for here is if you started there and now you get to there, that's a good thing. That's an improvement. It might still feel tight when you get there, but if your range of motion increases, that is a good sign. Obviously, it could actually go the other way. You could do it and you could feel more tight, and that gives us some great information as well. But what we're going to do now is test the other one. So we're going to go to the right, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Then you're going to retest your hamstrings. Where can you go to? And between those two, that's really helped me to relax my hamstrings a little bit. The range of motion has increased a little bit, but how tight it feels when I get there feels way better than it did before. So that's what happened for me. What happened for you? Did it change or not? I'd love to hear your comments. Leave it down below. Next one, we're going to go upwards. So I'm going to look at my thumb, lift my head upwards. Just going to do that 4 or 5 times. Retest. See what you go. Again, you test it, see how it goes. Does it improve your hamstrings or not? And then what we're going to do is we're going to go one final one where we're going to look at our thumb and we're going to go down for 5 reps. And then you're going to retest. What happened to the hamstrings? So we've done 4 different activation drills for the balance system. Hopefully 1 or 2 or all of them helped you improve your range of motion. I've seen this drill help people touch their toes very quickly, which is why I said at the start that was my goal. Hopefully we can make that happen for you. I'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments. Did anything change? Did it get better? Did it get worse? But this is a strategy we can use to help our nervous system relax our hamstrings. And then once we've done that, we can go back to the strength that I've talked about earlier. And this is where you've got to embrace the suffering. You want to work on passive holds where you're just going to hold your leg up as high as you can. So here, I'm just trying to hold it up as high as I can. I'm tensing my quads, I'm tensing my hip flexors. The first few times you do this, it might suck, it might cramp, but that's just the way it is. It's just something you have to go through. You've got to train your body to work the muscles in these positions, and it's going to help you to hold your newfound flexibility. Obviously, you want to work that on both sides. Something you could do to make it more fun and add a little bit of coordination in is you could do some controlled circles. So again, I'm working on the strength, but I'm also working on the coordination in this area. So working on that is going to help this new range of motion to stick, or like I said, you can just do it all on its own. And then the other side is going to be placing your leg on something. I don't want to put too much pressure on the net, but you would be pushing down on the net. But I just want you to be careful in this position. In this fully extended position, your body isn't going to be used to it. So just start off nice and gently, kind of pushing down. And then as you build up strength, you can start to work harder. So then you're basically going to be alternating. You're going to work on lifting it up. So it could be holding it up. So I'm going to try and lift it off. And then I'm going to pull it down to strengthen both sides. And that is a process that will allow you to increase your hamstring flexibility. In terms of length of time, you know, 5 or 6 seconds per hold is a good length to start with, but you can work for longer. So that is how you improve your hamstring flexibility. When you're a stiff old tennis player like me, I'm a lot less stiff than I used to, but this is the process that I've used. Finding things that are potentially causing my brain to want to protect and hold my hamstrings tight, doing brain activation drills to let them relax, and then working on strengthening things so that now my brain feels safe with this new range of motion. So hopefully that all makes sense. If it doesn't, obviously feel free to watch this video. But this is stuff that we can do with every part of the body. So if you're struggling with flexibility, and maybe you've seen some of my other videos before, I used to struggle massively with flexibility. I used to be one of the people that went to there until I learned about what I've just showed you here. So we can do this for the whole body. If it's something you would like to learn more about, this is one of the things that I teach within my program. I'll place a link down in the description that's going to allow you to schedule a chat with me, because potentially we could work together. But what I'm also going to do is I'm going to place a link to a free vision program that I've created for you. Now, hopefully what you've just seen is by looking at stuff and turning your head, it has an impact on the way that your body moves. So by training your visual system, by training your balance system, it's going to help you with ball tracking, timing, that kind of thing, but it can also help you improve flexibility and improve the way your body moves. So I'll place that link below and I'll place it up there so you can check that out if you want, start working on it, see if we can help you improve your tennis. Okay, I hope you have enjoyed this video. I hope you got a lot out of it. I'd love to hear your thoughts as you went through that. Did you get some nasty cramps in the quads? I'm sure you did. Were you able to get some increase in range of motion with your hamstring by going through those different drills? Let me know. I look forward to hearing from you.